The string theory is, so down here is like being born, and here is the end of our life. Now the string is kind of like, it's not complete here because this is our quest as human beings to figure out where we came from, you know, the source, right? So in the book, like I looked up, I basically researched 4,500 different religions, carbon dated how old the earth is. And it's like, what everyone can agree is we don't know. Like we've got these theories, but we don't really know. But what we do know is that we have a mum and a dad. So they connect with a moment of passion. Like my mum was 44, cougar. Dad was 27. They made love under a tree once. And then I was born. And this was a beautiful thing because when we were talking in the retreat experience the other day, I was like, what is the chance of you being born? And people were like, oh, you know, 1 in a million, 1 in a billion. It's a 1 in 4 trillion chance of being born. So like the way I frame that is like, you know, everything that happens along life, we have mums, we have dads, we have experiences, we have teachers. These experiences can be very fulfilling. We can get rejected. It can be like traumatic with a little t. We can experience trauma with a big T, and we create these stories, right, over our life, and then we kind of lose our essence along the way. But what was really cool is just reminding people that, you know, or the self-realization a lot of people had is that the day you were born, the day you took your first breath, you were already a living miracle. Like if my mum and dad didn't have that conversation, imagine one of them was too scared, I would not be here. So there's so many moments in life where creation is ready to happen to create moments like this and this little ripple effect that are being missed because of fear, because of insecurities, because of past experiences, or just the environment isn't facilitating it, right? And then the first 7 years, you know, we kind of like, we get taught how life is, what love is. We spend the rest of our life unlearning that for the most part, unless you've got good role models, right? But we're born out of love and creation. And then, you know, when we're kids, we I'd walk up and hug strangers, and then someone told me you shouldn't hug strangers, and I'm like, I had to make a decision within myself. I'm like, but when I hug strangers, they hug me back. When I have that physical contact with people and treat them like humans, when I pat a dog, you know, it's like they warm to me. There's this intimate, there's this non-sexual connection. There's just connection. It's acknowledgement of another existence. It's also like the eye contact. It's a smile. It's saying hello to strangers. The basic things that somehow over life we got taught not to do. And I guess, like, you know, as an example, like when I was born, I got to like 27. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself, because I've been doing it myself my entire life. So I became like hyper independent, didn't trust the world, and you know, this was the journey of ego and pride. And I almost forgot that, you know, it took a community to raise me as a child, but that my mum was up at 2 a.m. changing my diapers, and somehow I was angry at her, and like mother wound and father wound. And this was a beautiful thing, because like, you want to heal the mother and father wound, go back to the first moment that you were born and understand that that connection made you a 1 in 4 trillion chance of even being here. Because of them, you're a walking miracle, living, breathing miracle. So whatever they did, or whoever they were, whatever they were dealing with, that was their journey. But what they did is they gave you love in the way that they knew how to love. And then the people that came into our life gave us role models. And we had that moment of isolation. We wanted to be hyper independent. We have these relationships where we intertwine for moments and then we separate, but we're always connected. You know, our essence is always shared. And it's funny with relationships, because we can have a million amazing moments and we have one moment that's challenging or triggers us, and then we're like, cut, I'm out. As if we forget all the amazing moments we had. Sure. But deep down it's because we're creating meaning and you're letting fear win over love. Because love would say, thank you for this connection, but our rivers are going different ways. It's the acknowledgement that we're all just walking each other home anyway in the end, right? From the same source, the ocean, to the same source in the end. And we just get this opportunity to really like live. Now the cool thing about this is what I write about in the book is, you know, this concept of how long can we live and breathe? How many moments can we have? And at the moment, there's something called replicative senescence, which is like a fancy word for our genes replicated at a certain rate. So we can live to about 142. But the majority of humanity lives to about 72 because of self-harm. We put things in our body, we live in environments that don't support us, so we get these uncontrolled cell growths, we get these cancers, the stresses, like our body's under stress all the time. We put ourselves in cages and sit behind computers for 8 hours a day and wonder why we don't feel good. And then we have to fly to these retreats in Bali just to remember our heart again and turn our phone off. And then we feel good, and then we go back to that environment and never change anything. So the point of these experiences is to come here to feel it, to remind, to remember, and then to go back into whatever environment, whatever season, whatever circumstance, and be that, which is the creation point. But I think the coolest thing is there becomes a point in your life where you'll realize that, you know, it took a community to raise you as a child. It takes a community to heal the sick, and it takes connection to live towards longevity. And that's the one thing that is common in every single, like, blue zone culture, like, you know, Sardinia in Italy, the oldest living men, Okinawa in Japan. They have these little tribes and groups that look after each other over the lifespan. They're not trying to do it alone. So connection is the ultimate medicine, you know. And the cool thing that brings in all the quantum physics and all the other amazing stuff, and passion and purpose. You want to know what passion and purpose is? On this timeline, there will be moments where time stands still. It doesn't exist. It's when you know that you found something that you're really passionate about. Someone playing music. I've been talking for 5 or 10 minutes. Time is completely dissolved. I'm sitting here with you in presence. So I know that I'm doing something. I'm here to do something that really lights me up. I don't have to sit here and do 400 pages of notes to get up there and talk about a piece of string, because it's within me. It's something that I'm really passionate about, right? So for whoever's listening, it's like, notice where time stands still and notice where time speeds up, because we can slow it down and we can speed it up at any moment. If we want to distract ourselves, chase false dopamine, you know, run the rat race, speed it up. It's a race to the end. If we want to do things that we love, stillness, nature, breaths, real connection, time slows down. And then it seems infinite. And then we just have to live a life with no regrets. And then that way we can get to the end of our days knowing that with this once in a lifetime human experience was something that was worth living.